Yo, my people. Welcome back to the Life of Fergie with another episode, another stream of Love Island. Now, today was episode 3, day 3, whatever you want to call it. And I must say, I believe this is gearing up to be one of the most interesting seasons of Love Island just ever. Like, I'm just thinking inspirational over these past few years. So, for those of you who have never been here before, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hit me up in the comments, I'm telling you. And also, hit up my social media. Instagram is at MC Fergie, and Snapchat is Colin123. It shall be in the description. But without further ado, we shall get into the notes that I decided to write. So, from the beginning, Mike has got the text, and basically, it was hashtag twinning, and they go on a double date. So, you got Mike, Jess, Eve, and Callum all going on this double date. Pretty decent. They all just basically explain how they're feeling, and honesty is best policy sort of thing. And one of the things I thought was good was that Callum says straight away to Eve, well, with everyone present, because they're all sat on the same table, double dating, of course. He literally just says, "Oh, Shauna decided to give me like a goodbye kiss." So yeah, just making sure things are done well. And that's one of the reasons why I was just like, you know what? I might have to title some of these videos just Love Island do's and don'ts. Because I think I've been watching Love Island since like season 3. Yeah, from like when you had like Dr. Marcel and Montana and Camilla and them lot. And there's some things I've observed that just don't end well. But there's some things I've also observed that I've just thought to myself, yes, everyone must know this. But we shall still continue, and I'll give some of those do's and don'ts. Jess and Eve reveal that they've never been on a double date together. Fair enough. Like, I don't know why you'd want to go on a date with your twin brother or twin sister anyway. Like, makes sense. Now, let me tell you something. What I did not like was that, okay, so Mike and Callum, Jess and Eve, they come back returning from their dates. They had a good time, perfectly fine. As soon as possible, Mike found the time to speak to Leanne and literally say, look, this is where my head's at. The date went well. Honesty. This is a Love Island do. To anyone who decides to go on Love Island, I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. My tip, whoever you're coupled up with, if you speak about something else to somebody else you're potentially interested in, or even just if it's something that could affect you negatively, you need to discuss it to the person you're coupled up with. So, for instance, Callum, he did not speak to Shauna. Literally, for the entire night, he just avoided her and then said, "Oh, I was too tired, and I didn't want to mess up my words and all that." And I was just thinking to myself, "Come on, no, you got because she slept uneasy. Like she even said to Leanne, I don't think I'm handling it very well. I'm not handling it. Like you you must be honest and be direct to let people know what's going on, because this then leads on to the next day where Ollie is in trouble, man. This man is in hot water. Let me tell you, this man is in hot water because Paige is not having it. So before, I was talking about how Ollie may be in the friend zone. I don't even think he's gonna be fortunate enough to end up in the friend zone, because Paige is not letting go of this body of this cheating issue. Imagine he cheated on one of his girlfriends 8 or 9 times, and kudos to Paige where she said like once is a mistake, but come on, 8 or 9 times. That's a reoccurring choice. You've chosen to like step out, you know? And then I think even in the previous episode, his excuse was, oh, it was a toxic relationship. And Sophie blurted out, just break up, don't cheat or something like that. But yeah, essentially, Paige decides to confront Ollie on this issue of how he's shown interest in Shawnice, but not explain that to her. Once again, this is a Love Island don't. He's literally, if you're going to say to Shawnice, Paige and you are the two girls that I'd be most likely to be interested in getting to know, you need to immediately tell that to Paige as soon as possible and say, look, I've spoken to Shawnice and I've let her know that the two of you are the people I'm most interested in. Because at least Paige knows, whereas she's getting... Help yourself. Help yourself. That's all I'm saying. Now, also, that same night, the girls, when Jess and Eve returned, they all headed straight into like one of the sofas. And to be honest, it got me, because after Jess and Eve say, "Oh yeah, the dates were good," there was this awkward silence. It was just Like you could hear a pin drop in that room. I'm telling you. Like you could literally see none of the girls were really wanting to speak. But Shauna, I must say, Shauna, I love this girl. Shauna, I'm telling you, you know something. Shauna, if you ever see this video after you come out of the villa, let us meet. I'm telling you, because you make me laugh. This girl is one of those, you know, them people, where they're unintentionally funny, but they do stuff that just cracks you up. So, for instance, I think it was Eve who said, "So, Shauna, how are you feeling?" And in the interest of making sure this stream is kept peachy and suitable for all ages, she responded with the S word, just immediately the S word. And I just thought to myself, you know what? At least she's honest. At least she's honest. You get me? So what have we got next? So yeah, Ollie and Paige, Shanice, Shawnice, yeah, just pronounce it. Yep, the three of them basically go at it on the sofa, and Ollie wasn't really understanding the viewpoint that the two of them were coming from about how you can't say, "Oh, you've got all my eggs in one basket," but at the same time you have interest in someone else, and then when we bring that forward to you, you say, "No, I don't fancy anybody else." Like he's just digging himself a hole. Like, no, it's not looking good. Now, Mike did something I was not expecting. So later on in the day, he and Jess catch up, and they're just like, "Oh, I don't feel we've spoken that much. We haven't really. There's not been any communication that day." And he basically says to her what he said to Paige about at the moment his feelings are around 51-49, and that 51, surprisingly for me, was to Leanne. And I thought to myself, oh, okay. Because he described about how he woke up next to Jess and it was nice. But then once he saw Leanne, he had this like butterflies feeling, just like nervous sort of thing. And I thought to myself, oh, okay. So once again, I Love Island he did this right. He told Paige, and instead of allowing Paige to potentially go off in her own time to speak to someone, later on that night, Mike decides, no, in fact, before that point, Mike says the same thing to Jess, the person who's currently coupled up with, who he basically says, you know what, I'm leaning more towards Leanne, but at least you were honest. You're being honest. And then the person who needs to find out the most, Leanne, later on that night, he tells her, and Leanne's just happy as ever, just thinking, you know what, I'm really happy to hear this. So I'm hoping the two of them, yeah, mesh together. However, he was doing so good, and then I was just like, oh, you just shot yourself in the foot with this last point. So whilst he's basically professing his feelings to her, he says, I don't see anybody coming in who's going to turn my head. And I said to myself, no, 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 you're doing so good. Like, in previous seasons when people say, oh, my head won't be turned, or you're my type, no one else could come in. And then what? Maybe 2 weeks later, someone comes in and head does a full 360. So I'm hoping, Mike, things will be in your favor. That's all I can say. But tomorrow night, as you can see in this title, Ollie leaves the villa. And all they do is like everyone's gathered around the fire pit, and Ollie's just like, I think this is the hardest decision I've ever had to make. And they're showing everyone's reactions, just like, oh my God, you've known this man 3 days. I don't understand how these people are already so, you know? But I don't know the ins and outs. Apparently, what's happened is Ollie's still attached or has some feelings towards his ex. I don't know which one, which then leads him to say, you know what, I'm going to quit Love Island. And I think to myself, okay, that's your prerogative, but some things you just can't explain. Like, I would stay on the show. Like, clearly that person's an ex for a reason, whether it be you or that person. And if anything, you could always sort it out after. I'm not going to get into that. But that is the rundown of episode 3, day 3. And I'm hoping you enjoyed. Like, I gotta say, man, I'm telling you, I think this is going to be a really, really good season. Honestly, I think it's going to be really good. But until the next stream of Love Island or whatever I decide to stream next, in fact, actually, little heads up. The stream for episode 4 will most likely come out in the morning of the day after, just to give a heads up. If it comes earlier, it'll obviously come earlier. But until then, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Peace and God bless.